Tonight we have an investigation into a gun battle that you may not be aware of. What to do with the guns that police take away from criminals. Many departments want to destroy them, but they're facing major pushback from the NRA. They think that would be wasting perfectly good guns and are on a lobbying spree trying to force the police to sell the guns they confiscate back to people. It's an idea that's already backfired at least once, nearly killing 2 officers in Minnesota. CNN senior investigative correspondent Drew Griffin reports tonight.
It happened at a city council meeting in New Hope, Minnesota, almost exactly a year ago. A routine meeting captured on the city's in-house video. New police officers had just been sworn in when the council took up its very next item.
A resolution authorizing the purchase of an electronic reader board sign.
Suddenly, shots.
Get down, get down.
Council members diving under desks. One even takes out a gun. Off camera, just outside the council chambers, a well-known mentally unstable resident named Raymond Kometz decided this was the night he would get back at the city he'd been fighting with. Those newly sworn officers would be his targets. Kometz was waiting for them just as they left the council chambers, waiting for them right here, with a gun police say should have never been allowed back on the streets. It was a shotgun Kometz fired once. The new police officers made sure he wouldn't fire again. 2 officers were wounded. Kometz killed in a hail of police bullets.
I think everybody who heard this was shocked that an individual could walk into a city council meeting where police officers were being sworn in to the next 20, 25 years of duty and service to their community and be victims of gunfire like that.
But for Sheriff Richard Stanek, the shock wouldn't end with the crime. The investigation would find Kometz should have never had that gun. He would have never passed a federal background check. He had a history of mental illness and trouble with the city of New Hope. Yet Raymond Kometz was able to buy 3 guns illegally through a straw purchaser, a friend who was pretending to buy the guns for himself. And in a shocking twist, all 3 guns were being sold by the police department of Duluth, Minnesota.
You know, I was very surprised, being a sheriff of a large Midwestern county, one of the largest counties in the country, to learn that a law enforcement agency had actually sold these guns online instead of destroying them or keeping them for their own purposes.
Across the country, police chiefs and sheriffs are finding themselves in an ethical dilemma over the same issue. In Hennepin County, Minnesota, guns from crimes are seized almost every day. Good guns, worth money. Sheriff Stanek doesn't sell them, he keeps them right here, never to be on the street again. 2,600 of them and counting inside his gun library under the guise they could help in future criminal investigations and training. But other municipalities don't have the storage, have shrinking budgets, and are under growing pressure to do exactly what Duluth, Minnesota did, sell them. And across the country, one very strong lobbying group is trying to make sure guns seized by police are actually put back on the street. That lobbying group, the National Rifle Association.
Actually, we weren't seeking it, but it was brought to us.
David Rauch is the chief of the Knoxville, Tennessee Police Department. He also heads up the statewide Police Chiefs Association in Tennessee. He says, if anything, he and his fellow police chiefs were looking for a law that would allow them to destroy the guns they confiscate. Instead, the NRA came to downtown Knoxville and found its own state legislator to push its own legislation. State Senator Douglas Overby put forth a bill that would ban police chiefs in Tennessee from destroying any gun. The state senator told us he was too busy to talk to us about his bill today and tomorrow and the next day, and according to his assistant, ever.
The original law that the NRA brought forward would not allow us to destroy any of the firearms.
Any.
Right. And so we certainly were not in favor of that.
Police in Tennessee were able to water